Gentrification is a dynamic that develops in low-income urban areas between existing residents and new, higher-income residents, creating socioeconomic cleavages that ignite political tensions. The term gentrification refers to the gentry, which denotes the highest social classes, and the process by which these classes populate and gradually to overtake a new area. Historical evidence suggests the phenomenon occurred as long ago as ancient Rome, when a renewal of Roman cities' residential accommodations occurred in the 3rd century AD. British sociologist Ruth Glass coined the term in 1964 in response to the trend of inner-city working-class London denizens being displaced by wealthier newcomers. During the past several decades, as neighborhoods and cities' urban cores throughout the developed world have experienced waves of relocation and redevelopment by the same middle and upper-class residents who fled for the suburbs in the post-World War II housing bubble, they have struggled to keep resurgent growth in check with the needs and concerns of the existing demographic in these newly gentrified areas. As inner-city neighborhoods have felt gentrification trends impact their capacity to live affordably, many have coalesced with the goal of addressing what is best for their community and who holds responsibility for achieving it. Such collective responsibility is a vital component of improving the plight of the less fortunate. This notion of community members as stakeholders is equally valuable in solving the injustices caused by gentrification, where both existing residents and incoming residents must accept responsibility for fostering a fair socioeconomic schema for affected communities. The dominating argument against gentrification is the issue of moral obligation to inhibit the adverse effects on gentrified communities. Gentrification of inner-city neighborhoods causes the displacement of existing residents due to increased home and rental prices, which stem from increased value of land in a neighborhood as it gains economic capital. In some cases, demand for new, higher-priced housing may lead to demolition of existing properties, further burdening income-poor individuals with decreased supply of affordable residences. Within this conflict, the larger ethical issue of social welfare arises as individual communities and the collective society weigh the benefits of urban renewal and redevelopment against the struggle it spawns for these lower-income residents. However, society must assume a collective responsibility for the disadvantaged, even if it is not culpable for their plight. Because of this global responsibility, the public at hand in this issue is everyone who contributes to gentrification, including the larger society that allows it to occur. In the face of the gentrification dilemma, local governments must be mindful for and sensitive towards all members of their constituency. They are, in turn, responsible for establishing a balance between the economic, social, and political needs of their communities. For a city's bottom line, new, high-end development where financial prospects were previously depleted means major dividends on luring new business into the city limits, as tax revenue from both new companies and wealthier individuals will magnify several times over. Also, it is important that key actors protect, if not enhance, public liberties in their policymaking. In this regard, the challenge of determining political responsibility stems from choosing the right agents to solve the gentrification issues. While councilpersons and other elected officials may represent existing inner-city communities, they are also focused on the economic growth of their districts that redevelopment would spawn. This apparent conflict of interest necessitates additional oversight from community advocates and thereby spurs a shift in political responsibility to the larger public, as well as third-party experts who can channel concrete evidence of gentrification's implications into objectively addressing the conflict. Despite this muddled process of agent selection, developers, municipal governments, civic leaders, and other key actors in gentrification trends must determine the most ethical means of reaping economic benefits while focusing equal attention on solutions for the poor, which prevent evictions and combat potential homelessness. These may include public forum discussions, where members of the existing lower-income community, as well as developers and prospective residents of new upscale projects in the area, can voice their opinion on new developments to the municipal government and political decision-makers. From these discussions, more concrete proposals for protecting the interest of both sides may be formulated. Institutions must cooperate fairly over time to create just outcomes for both disenfranchised existing residents and enterprising incoming residents. One frequently successful long-term solution has been the construction of subsidized housing in neighborhoods experiencing or at risk of gentrification. This strategy enables public funds to foot the added cost of living due to increased rents and real estate prices, ultimately creating a sustainable living situation for displaced or jeopardized community members through investments that diminish the social discount rate. When a large-scale public housing project was built in the rapidly gentrifying Brownsville neighborhood in Brooklyn, it not only effectively capped rent prices, but also was designed to fit in with the existing architecture, an added benefit to new project investors wanting to promote the neighborhood's historical charm. Another plan that many cities have instigated is the incorporation of the entire metropolitan area into a unified government entity. This entity manifests itself in a variety of forms and structures of power, but the central purpose is to allocate a voice for each of the diverse needs and interests of the entire metropolitan area, which operates together as a social and economic unit. Given that the gentrifying party is typically comprised of relocating suburbanites, the inclusion of the city's suburbs in its decision-making can be a productive step towards compromise over gentrification projects and minimization of their negative impact on the city as well as the overall region. In 1963, the City of Nashville incorporated with the Davidson County government to form the Metro Nashville government structure, which has allowed for a leveling of the real estate playing field as home prices in the city limits have stabilized. This has also increased both population density and diversity in Nashville's urban core, contributing to a more sustainable housing infrastructure for the metropolitan area that has abated gentrification woes. In assessing all approaches, agent selection through pluralist distribution of responsibility is crucial in affecting the greatest change. On the whole, a variety of promising, comprehensive resolutions to the challenges of gentrification are possible when political leaders unite with their constituency to devise a course of action. Gentrification is an oft-neglected yet highly critical issue in day-to-day politics, whose ramifications are pivotal in determining the future of our cities and their people.